let's turn now to Rhonda from Jefferson County. Rhonda, again, we appreciate your patience and your call tonight. If you will, go right ahead with your question.
Good evening. My parents were stationed in Camp Lejeune for 4 years in the year of 57, and both of them have passed on. My mother of bladder cancer and my father of diabetes. And then I married military. I've had stillborn miscarriages, cervical precancer, and the husband has neurological disorder, and both of my brothers are fertile. So I don't know if this has anything to do with water contamination.
How would you advise Rhonda, just based on what she's mentioned?
Right. So again, what I would advise is certainly you want to get a hold of those medical records, figure out what their actual medical diagnosis is, and then the way I would treat it is, you know, if everything is lining up in their diagnosis and in their medical records and there's not a clear cause, meaning that the medical doctor hasn't attributed their infertility or other type of issues to any other type of issue specifically, then I would go ahead and file that claim. I would go ahead and reach out to an attorney, certainly reach out to us, and see if it's something that's worth pursuing. To me, there's very little harm in seeing what type of, recovery is out there. And certainly if what you're saying is they were stationed there for 4 years, there is certainly a chance that they could have been exposed to and at such an amount that would have potentially caused these problems. What they're saying is that anybody from 1953 to 1987 would have been exposed to these higher levels, and for anybody that was stationed there for any longer than 30 days during that time period. So certainly 4 years certainly covers that. And I would be very interested to see what those medical records look like and to see what the government would actually say about a potential claim against them for that time period.
I mean, all they can say is no to begin with, and then we take it to the next level, which is file the lawsuit and see if we can connect the contamination to the injuries, and you go on from there. So there's no harm in trying. And again, this is the first time that the U.S. government has stepped up and say, we acknowledge that there is a problem like this and we are going to do something about it. Now, I do have a question, and we've talked about it. I'm asking this on behalf of potential viewers. How does this work with VA benefits? Because a lot of people are receiving VA benefits from their veteran, perhaps even deceased. So how does this square with VA benefits? Is this in addition to, or would this offset VA benefits?
That's a great question.
Right. So the Act itself, which if you're not familiar with the Act, just to kind of put it at a 10,000-foot view, the Act itself was passed along with the recently passed PACT Act, P-A-C-T Act. And that was a little bit more publicized in the media, certainly with Jon Stewart and other celebrities, mainly focusing on the burn pits. There's been very little coverage about the actual Camp Lejeune right of recovery. And so what we know right now is, based on the language of that act that was passed, is that it will not affect your disability benefits. Now, our firm has teamed up with a disability attorney to help us navigate those issues. And so that is something that we are working with. And that is something that I would suggest that if you think you may have a claim, certainly that's something that you want to be sure that if you're going to reach out to an attorney, you're reaching out to an attorney that is going to be cognizant of those issues and be willing to navigate that with you as you revise your, as you look into your claim against the government.
A lot of information to cover here. A lot of information.